right? So determine the magnitude, direction, and position of resultant force about a point A. So the point A is mentioned, about which you have to calculate the moment of force due to all force at this point A. Right? This is the point A. Right? Determine the magnitude, direction, and position of resultant for all the forces about a point A. Right? For the following figure shown. Right? So this is the figure shown question, and for this system of forces we have to determine the magnitude of resultant force, direction of resultant force, and position of resultant force from point A. Right? So as we know, we can calculate the magnitude of resultant force by using this formula. Right? This is to calculate magnitude of resultant. Right? So what is the formula? It is square root of sigma fx square plus sigma fy square. Right? So determine all the sum of x components. Right? So resolve all the forces into their x components and resolve all the forces into their y components, then add algebraically sum of all the x components and sum of all the x components and y components, right? So now let us look into the forces. How many forces are there? So force 75 kilonewton, 45 kilonewton, 60 kilonewton. So these are the three forces which are inclined with respect to some angles, either with the x axis or with the y axis, right? Now let us try to resolve all these three forces, right? So look at the x axis. This is x line, horizontal line, right? X axis or horizontal surface, right? With this the force is inclined at 45-degree inclination, right? 75 kilonewton is making 45-degree inclination with respect to x axis, right? Whereas this force, right? So this is the horizontal line, right? So the this is y line, y axis, right? So now we have the angle of inclination as 30-degree with respect to y axis, right? Similarly, this is y axis and this is x axis. Now we have the angle of inclination as 35-degree with respect to y axis, right? To resolve this we have to convert this into x axis, right? So 90 minus 30, 90 minus 30, it will become 60-degree. So that 60-degree has been used to resolve force, right? So 90 minus 30 is 60-degree, right? Now I want to calculate the angle with respect to x axis. So that x axis is 60-degree. Similarly, this is 35-degree with respect to y axis. Convert this into with respect to x axis. 90 minus 35, it will be 55. So this 55-degree is utilized to resolve all the force along x and y components, right? Considering this angle, resolve this force into its x component, right? If I project this force to x axis, right, the force will be traveling along leftwards, right? If I project this force to y axis, right, this force will be traveling along downwards, right? So these are the x and y component of 75 kilonewton force. Now project this force to x axis, right? Project this force to y axis, right? This is x component and this is y component of the second force, that is 45 kilonewton force. Now project this force to x axis, project this force to y axis, right? So this is x component and this is y component, right? So fx is written as f cos theta. Fx is written as f cos theta, fy is written as f sin theta, right? Fx is f cos theta, fy is f sin theta. Fx is f cos theta and fy is f sin theta. Theta with respect to x axis here it is 60-degree, theta with respect to x axis here it is 55-degree, right? So 45 cos 60, 45 cos 60, it is acting rightwards. Similarly 45 sin 60, it is acting downwards, right? Similarly 60 cos 55, angle with respect to x axis, 90 minus 35, it is 55, right? 60 cos 55 rightwards and 60 sin 55 upwards. Similarly for this force, so project it to y axis, right? 75 sin 45, angle with respect to x axis, right? It is acting downwards, y component, so x component is acting rightwards, 75 cos 45. So these are the resolved components of all these forces. Now add all the x component, right? Add this, add this, and add this, right? So 45 cos 60 acting rightwards, positive, Similarly, 60 cos 55, it is acting rightwards positive. So 75 cos 45, it is acting leftwards, right? So leftwards it is taken as negative, right? Summation of this will be 3.88 Newton, kilonewton, right? So similarly, add all y components, add all y components, add this, add this, and add this, right? So summation of all the y components, it is 45 sine 60 acting downwards, 60 sine 55 acting upwards, and 75 sine 45 acting downwards minus, right? So downward force are taken as negative, upward force is taken as positive, right? Summation of this will give as 42.85, right? So we can subject it into this formula, sigma fx square and sigma fy square, right? So use this formula, right? So apply the sigma fx square value, right? 3.88 whole square. Similarly, minus 42.85 whole square, right? The end result will be magnitude of resultant is 43.025. Similarly, direction of resultant force. Theta is equal to tan inverse of sigma fy divided by sigma fx. Sigma fy is 42.85, sigma fx is 3.88, right? So this is the direction of resultant force. So this is how we have to calculate the resultant force and direction of resultant force. Now let us look into the application of Varignon's theorem. Right, in order to calculate the position of resultant with respect to the given point A. Right, in the question it is asked to calculate the position of resultant at point A. Right, so now to determine the position of resultant, so you have to apply the Varignon's theorem. Right, applying the Varignon's theorem, so that is moment of resultant force at one point will be equal to algebraic sum of moment of all the force at the same point, right? Now we have calculated resultant force, that is 43.025 multiply by d. So we don't know this distance, right? Where is that distance? D, right? Let us try to calculate that d using algebraic sum of moment of all the force, right? So check which force, which component of the force is passing through the moment center. This is the moment center A. Right? This is the moment center A. So look at the force which is not passing through the moment center. Right. So first we'll look at the force which are passing through the moment center, and let us neglect that force for the moment calculation. Right. If I look at this force, so this is passing through the moment center. Similarly, if I look at this force, so this is passing through the moment center. Right. So let us neglect these two component of the force which are passing through the moment center. So this will not create moment, and this will not create moment. So let us neglect these two components and consider the remaining components for the moment calculation, right? So similarly, consider all other components which are creating the moments about point A, right? So this force will create moment. It is located at distance. How much? What is the distance it is given? It is given as 2 meter. Distance from line of action of this force to moment center is 2 meter, right? Similarly, distance of moment center and from this force, it is also 2 meter, right? Similarly, for this force, right, considering this force, moment center is located at 2 meter distance, right? Consider each force and multiply with their perpendicular distance, right? 45 cos 60, where is the 45 cos 60? This is the force, line of action of force along x axis. This is 45 cos 60. So distance from moment center to line of action of this force is 2 meter, right? So 45 cos 60 will create clockwise movement, right? 45 cos 60 multiplied by 2, right? So this is the clockwise movement due to this component. Similarly, 45 sin 60, 45 sin 60, it is located at distance 2 meter from the movement center A, right? It is also rotating clockwise. This also rotate clockwise. Clockwise movement is taken as positive. 45 sin 60 multiplied by 2. So this is clockwise. Next, consider, so we have done this and we have done this, right? Consider this component, right? This component is located at distance 2 meter, and this is rotating anti-clockwise, right? So this is this rotates the body in anti-clockwise direction, so that is why minus sin 60, so minus 60 sin 55 multiplied by this perpendicular distance 2, right? So minus 60 is because anti-clockwise movement. Minus 60 sine 55 multiplied by 2. Right. Similarly, so this component will not create moment, and this component will not create moment. Remaining is this force, right? So consider this force, this line of action of force, and this is the perpendicular distance. 2 meters is the perpendicular distance. So multiply. So this force will create anti-clockwise moment, right? Minus 75 cos 45 multiplied by 2. Minus is because anti-clockwise moment. Minus 75 cos 45 multiplied by 2, right? So next one additional moment, which is seen as extra here, right? So one additional moment, that is 1000 kilonewton meter. The unit indicates it is moment of force. Kilonewton meter. Force multiplied by perpendicular distance. Force is kilonewton. Perpendicular distance is meter. Kilonewton meter indicates. So this is the moment of force, which is given directly in the problem. Right. This additional moment you have to take as it is for the moment calculation. Right. So this additional moment is as it is taken for the moment calculation, and algebraic sum of moment of all the forces minus 975.35. If I substitute and if I calculate this, so this will be minus 975.35. Right. Now to calculate D, so sigma moment of all the force at point A divided by the resultant force. So this is the distance of the resultant from point A. Right. This is how we can locate the resultant force, right, which is located at distance minus 22.67. Now let us calculate their x-intercept and y-intercept. Sigma mod sigma ma divided by sigma of phi will give x-intercept, and mod sigma ma divided by sigma of x will give the y-intercept, right? So like that, calculate this x-intercept from here to here. So this is the x-intercept value, and this is the y-intercept value, right? So at x distance it is 22.76, and y-intercept is 251.37 is the x-intercept, right? So this is about the calculation of position of resultant force, right? So we'll go to the next problem, problem number 4. So here also is same. Determine the magnitude, direction, and position of the resultant from the point A. So the point A is located here. It is, you have to consider point A. This is the point A which we have to consider. This is the point A, right? So here this is point A, right? So resolve all the force. Consider the x component and y component for the calculation of sigma fx and sigma fy. Right? Check it. Look at the force. How many forces are acting here? 150 Newton, 200 Newton, and 500 Newton, right? So 150 Newton is acting exactly along x-axis. Its y component will be 0, and it will be having only x component. Right? Similarly, 200 Newton force is acting exactly along y-axis. Right? Its x component will be 0, and y component will be that force itself, 200. Right? Considering x component of this force, 150 cos 0. So inclination with respect to x-axis is 0. Right? Similarly, consider this x component. Right? It is acting rightwards. Project this force, so we can see that. So this is acting rightwards, right? Similarly, 500 cos 45 is the x component of this force, right? So look at this force, 200 Newton, which is exactly acting along y direction, right? So angle with respect to x-axis is 90 degree. So that is 200 cos 90. It is 0 only, right? So adding this, we can get sigma fx is equal to 503.55. Similarly, look at y component of all forces, right? So if this force is acting along x direction, theta is 0. So 150 sine 0, right? 150 sine 0 is the y component. Similarly, so this force is acting downwards at 500 sine 45. 500 sine 45 acting downwards. So that is why it is taken as minus. Right, 500 sine 45 acting downwards, it is taken as minus. Right, similarly, 200 cos 90. The angle with respect to x-axis is 90 degree. 200 sine 90 acting downwards. Right. So add this all x component and y components. We can get the sigma fx and sigma fy. Substitute in this formula, we can get the magnitude of resultant force. Similarly, direction of resultant force is 47.70, right? Next, look at the moment of force due to all forces, which will create the moment of force, right? So this is the moment center A, right? So along this line, the 500 cos 45 is passing through the moment center. So let us neglect this force, and this is also passing through the moment center, right? So that is why these two force will not create any moment of force. Moment perpendicular distance with this two force is 0, right? So the force which are passing through the moment center will not create any moment of force. Now look at the force, right? Which all the force are creating uh, moment of force. This will create, and this will create, right? What is the distance for 150 newton force, right? So this is line of action of 150 newton force, and which is located at 3-meter distance. How can you know that this is 3-meter? Right, it is shown that each square box is measuring 1 meter by 1 meter. So this is 1 meter, this is 1 meter. Total distance here it is 3 meter, right? Here to here it is total distance is 3 meter, right? This distance is 3 meter, right? Here, so there are four box at the bottom: box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, right? Total distance will become 4, right? Perpendicular distance for 500 sin 45 is 4, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, so this is 4, right? So now calculate the moment of force due to all forces which are creating moment of force. This will create moment of force, and this will create moment of force, and there is one additional moment. So this is additional moment, right? So calculating moment of force due to 150 newton. 150 multiplied by this 3. So 150 multiplied by 3 is the perpendicular distance, right? 3 boxes, right? 150 into 3. Similarly, 500 sin 45. From here to here, it is distance is 4 box, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 box, 4 meter, right? So it is creating clockwise movement, right? So 500 sin 45 multiplied by 4 plus one additional moment, that is 1000 newton meter, right? So adding this, we can get the summation as 3864.21. So divide this magnitude of resultant force, we can get the position of resultant force. So this is how we can calculate the distance of the resultant from particular point A. Now calculate x-intercept and y-intercept. Sigma mod MA divided by sigma F5. So MA is 3864.21 divided by sigma F5. So that will give 6.98. Similarly, mod sigma MA divided by sigma Fx. So this is 3864.21 divided by 503.55. So this will give, so y-intercept as 7.67. Right. So these are the magnitude of resultant force, direction of resultant force, and position of resultant force at point A. So this is how we have to calculate. So magnitude, direction, distance of the resultant from point A, and their x-intercept and y-intercept.